But like I say, you have to watch out for professionals um, in anything uh, that will turn into a professional idiot. They really don't know. I'm sure you've dealt with lawyers and found out some of these lawyers are professional idiots. They might know the law, but then when they get to court, they find out that knowing the law and applying all that stuff isn't the same, and so that's where the idiot comes into. So, so you got stuff like that, and then you have the educated idiots, and these are boy, that's a very loose term, educated idiot. Uh, a lot of times you'll find these as inspectors in government. Let's see. Yeah, I'd say probably anybody that works for the government would be educated because they're educated in the way the government does things. This is the way we're doing things, and whatever office you're in, this is the way it is. If it's land management, if it's game wardens, if it's a license tag place, they have the rules right there, and you have to go by these rules. Another thing that I'm experienced in is health department, and but I mean, these people, they're educated, they're taught certain things in their field, and that is supposed to give them the authority over the non-governmental places. That's why the government is exempt from, they can contaminate things, they're exempt from the environmental laws. I mean, the government exempts itself, and that's because they're so screwed up, so, and, but the thing is, they know the rules of in their field, whatever department you're living in, or they're working in. And so that means they have the authority to them. That's what it is. See, that's why we're having problems. Is some of this stuff, well, it's regulations, and so they write the regulations the way they want to write them, and they're not smart regulations. They're just what they're going to write up, and then since they know these regulations, that makes them the authority, and now they tell us the rights and wrongs, and that makes them an educated idiot. And now it's not just government. I'm not just picking on the government. I mean, another really good example is the medical field. The medical field is the same thing. They are taught certain things, and that's the only things they can do. One of the things I'm talking about is because I had my thing, and I wanted some therapists. I was hoping to find medical therapists that really knew something, and to come to find out, that's where I learned the physical therapist and the medical field are completely different than the therapist, the physical therapist in the natural healing world. The thing is, the physical therapist in the medical world, they are told they learn certain therapies. You pick the arm up like this, you do like that, you do like that. I mean, this is what they learn, and this is what they do. And that explained, I know it's when my wife was in the hospital, it was the same thing. The physical therapist came in every day. Every other day. And I thought that was kind of odd. I thought, don't you need therapy a little more than every other day? And when I was watching what the therapist was doing, and it was maybe 15, 20 minutes, maybe. And now, nothing wrong with 15, 20 minutes, but that should be multiple times per day, not every other day. And so when I went through my thing, I had physical therapists, but they were natural healers, and they used their physical therapist, and it was multiple times a day, every day. And I say, so I'm trying to figure out now what's going on. And the thing that was really neat is these therapists, they only know, the ones that I was using, natural physical therapists, they've learned things. It's not, they weren't taught something. They were taught stuff, and then as they applied it, they learned they need to modify this or modify that or do something different to get good results, because that's what they're looking for, good results. They weren't looking to keep their license, do as they're told, and this type of stuff. That's what the medical physical therapist, just move the arm that way. Don't do anything else and all this kind of stuff. Well, they're the ones that are laying hands. They should know what is going on in that part of the body that they're putting their hands on. And putting your hands on the body is how you learn. It's not what the book tells you, and then here they put the skeleton up there and you memorize all the bones and stuff like that. No, there's a certain way all this stuff works, and until you put your hands on it, you're not going to figure it out. And the more you put your hands on it, the more you start learning this stuff. And so, in other words, these are educated idiots. All they know is what they were taught, and they don't know what learning is. They don't realize what they were taught was just this much of what they need to learn to be an authority of what it is in the field that they're doing. Okay, like, yeah, I know the body, and certain parts of the body are more difficult than other parts. To me, why? Because I haven't had as much experience putting my hands on certain parts of the body than other parts of the body. That's why I specialize in the pelvis, and it's not just the pelvis. All the symptoms that come along with the pelvis, and you should know this. Even if you were working on the shoulder, say I don't work that much on the shoulder. I know some of the shoulder, but I can't say I'm a specialist in the shoulder, and I'm the authority in the shoulder. But if you were, you ought to be able to feel. You ought to be able to see how the arm works, stuff like that. You ought to know all this stuff. That's when you are authority of that stuff, you know this stuff. And when you are the authority, and this is another thing, this way you can tell the idiots, any kind of idiot, professional idiot, educated idiot, don't make any difference. The way you can tell an idiot is not everybody, some people are smart enough to say nothing, but really, and that's why I'm saying making videos isn't too smart, because I'm throwing myself out there a lot. But what you do, you watch when somebody says something, and they can be questioned about it. You can ask them questions. You can, well, what if this? What if, and what does that mean? What does that mean? Like that, and they're not intimidated. They're not resentful. They don't find it offensive. When they really are a professional or someone of authority, when you question them in any way, any manner at all, they don't find it offensive at all. And the reason is Now this is where the trick of the true professional or authority would be. They have the abilities to explain what it is, or why and how, and all this kind of stuff. And like I say, if you're talking about something I know about, I'm an authority on, I can, you can hit me with what if and how about that, and man, this is fun. I enjoy it because these are things most of the time, if I'm an authority on it, I've already either experienced it or I've planned for it and I'm ready for it. And so I don't mind being questioned about it. Now, that's what I'm saying. This is how you can find the idiot. Because when the idiot can't explain this stuff, and that's because, like I say, they don't know it. Well, the first thing is they don't know it. Now, maybe they really do know it, but they don't have the ability to put the meaning out where people understand it. And if people don't understand what the hell you're talking about, you know, who gives a shit what the hell you're talking about? And that's why, like scientists, you know, I mean, they come up here with all these real cool formulas and names and all kinds of stuff, you know, and you don't know what the hell they're talking about. Does that make them an authority? No. That's why a lot of people view scientists as idiots.